Do you know what truly separates the rich from the poor? Many people believe that wealthy folks all inherited their fortunes, but this isn't always the case. Either way, it's a fact that we are currently living in a world where the wealthiest 1% of the population are in full control of 48% of the overall wealth. To put it another way, the network of the 80 richest individuals is equivalent to that of about 3.5 billion people, around half of the world's population. With this, we can clearly see that there is a great disparity between the wealthy and the poor. Poor people have a hard time making and keeping their money. Thus, this video can act as both a reminder and a roadmap for your journey. You'll learn the things you didn't even know you wanted to know. Today, we will address this issue by providing you with a reference on how to make money. Welcome to Billionista. If you love videos about luxury living, please subscribe and click the bell so you never miss a video. And don't forget to like and share too. Here is a list of 13 money-making secrets that poor people are unaware of. Number 1. Making money is about system solving, not working hard. Working is the only way that low-income people are aware of to make money. Someone else will pay you for your time and effort if you exchange it with them. Your ability to produce determines your worth. Here's a short rundown of what we mean. Lemonade stands are a good way for poor people to make money. You're paid by the hour by the owner of the stand. In this scenario, you are but one component of the whole picture. The owner of the lemonade stand is in possession of the following components. In our example, lemonade. At the very end of the supply chain, the commodity in question is the one that is traded for monetary value. Now, let's take a look at everything that takes place before the actual sale of the lemonade. Since fresh lemonade doesn't sell itself, you'll need to recruit additional help. This person also requires the ingredients, which in our case are water, lemons, sugar, and cups. To explain the procedure using business language, you can see how the person selling lemonade is just one piece of the puzzle, while the owner is responsible for considering all of these factors. For example, workers are paid $1 for every $10 they generate for their employer as a general rule. There is much greater payoff for solving the process than simply being a wheel. Once you've figured out how the processes fit together, you'll be able to take full advantage of the market and help you earn more money. Remember that when you can successfully solve the puzzle and assemble all of the components, you can be rewarded for your efforts. Number 2. Make money while you sleep, or you will never be rich. This part can be a little tricky, so lend me both your ears. Your ability to earn money shouldn't be dependent on you in any way. For this reason, the prior step of finding a solution to the system is of the utmost importance. You will never be able to escape your financial situation until you reclaim control of your time. Trading can only take place within a certain amount of hours every day due to the 24-hour clock. Even if you were to trade all of them, you would still reach a ceiling on the amount of money you could make. Basically, you spend 8 hours of your day sleeping, while the other 8 hours are spent working. The commute to and from work can take up to 2 hours, meaning that you only have 6 hours in a day to devote to things like improving yourself, doing chores, eating, dating, and having a love life. People have to make choices because there isn't enough time to do everything. They give up some of these without recognizing that it is precisely these things that give life its meaning and make it worthwhile to continue living. Number 3. You can pay little to no money in tax if you start a business. A typical taxpayer in the United States is responsible for paying somewhat around 27% of their income in taxes. This number is closer to 50% in Europe. In the meantime, the tax burden that is paid by the typical corporation ranges from 0% to 3%. This is one of the most significant distinctions that can be made between businesses and individuals. To give you an example of the most basic form possible, when you have additional expenses for your company, the amount of money that is available for taxation drops drastically. For this reason, many are willing to spend millions of dollars on a private plane, because it enables you to meet with customers and counts as an expense for your company. A tax deduction can be taken for the use of the private aircraft, as well as for the cost of the fuel, business meals out with clients, business trips, and so on. To be sure everyone understands this, we'll repeat it. If you spend the money your firm generates on goods and services that benefit the business, you won't pay any taxes at all. Number 4. Instead of cutting down costs, focus on increasing income. Individuals who waste their time attempting to reduce their personal expenses when they should be working on expanding their income should be discouraged, and we mean that in the most profound way. Coupon cutting is common among the poor. They will spend a significant amount of time thinking of methods to cut costs in order to save a few cents. It doesn't matter if you make $1,000 an hour or $8 an hour. If you're going to waste 2 hours of your life driving to 3 different supermarkets to save $10 on some detergent, it doesn't matter how much money you make an hour. Spend your time wisely. If you are working an hourly job that pays $8 but you still have time to go to 3 different supermarkets, then you have time to learn Microsoft Excel on YouTube and look for a job that pays 3 times as much as your current one. Why? Because there is a limit to how much you can cut expenditures, yet the potential of your earnings is practically unbounded. Number 5. Over 50% of your income should go towards investment. If you want to actively earn your freedom through employment, the following options are available to you. If the cost of being who you are is $50,000 per year, then you must make at least $250,000 per year to be financially independent. Why? Because $50,000 of that $250,000 will be spent on costs, leaving the remaining 80% to be invested in order to achieve financial freedom. Almost everyone in your network puts at least 60% of their salary into savings and investments. This is money for personal liberty. This money is used to make investments in real estate and stocks, as well as other types of businesses. The unfortunate reality is that those with low incomes are unable to put away nearly as much of their money as they would like to, since their earnings are insufficient to meet even their necessities. The problem is that they pay no attention entirely to any of the other things in the list. When you first start seeing a rise in your income, resist the urge to act irresponsibly and start living a much more lavish lifestyle. And remember, if your goal is to save 5 or 10%, you will never be able to quit the rat race. You really can't. You may have enough money to go past the challenge, but that won't be enough to purchase your freedom on its own. Number 6. It takes the same amount of effort to make $50,000 or $1 million. For some, this idea can take many years to grasp. I bet this concept is going to be a bit confusing for some of you and might throw most people for a loop. We can practically hear everyone in the room scratching their heads and someone inside of you saying, "For real?" What is the point of putting in the same amount of effort for a much smaller payoff? So if you are already capable of solving puzzles, you might as well attempt to solve the puzzles that provide greater prizes. Let's put it this way. If you're selling telecom subscriptions over the phone and making $2,000 per month, you may make over $20,000 per month by selling vehicles or real estate. The procedure is pretty much the same, but the compensation is significantly more. Taking the previous scenario one step further, the person could make more than $100,000 every month by trading shares on Wall Street. The method of making a transaction remains the same. Number 7. Ideas are worthless without extended execution. Have you ever wondered why both Google and Facebook were successful in destroying their competitors, or why TikTok was successful where Vine was not? Or ask why McDonald's prevailed over the other burger franchises available at the time, and why Starbucks continues to dominate the coffee industry? What we're going to tell you is important, so please pay attention. For the rest of your days, it will alter the way you approach new ideas. Anyone can come up with an idea. You could talk to anyone walking down the street, and they would each have at least 1 or 2 entrepreneurial ideas that they believe are worth a significant amount of money. Even if you have a brilliant idea that has the potential to yield a multiplier of 100, if your implementation is 0, then your results are equal to 0. Let's apply simple mathematics. 0 multiplied by 100 equals 0. And we know that anything multiplied by 0 is equal to 0. So the quality of your idea has a multiplicative effect on your ability to carry it through. A secret way to victory is to take any only average idea and carry it out to a higher standard. Think about it. The concept of making coffee with milk is not worth $85 billion, but Starbucks was able to address the problem and successfully put its strategy into action. Before we proceed to the next secret, I just want to ask if you have any questions about any of these tips. Let us know in the comment section below because I want to hear from my viewers and get the conversation going. And now, back on the list. Number 8. $1 million per year isn't a lot of money. I can almost imagine your shocked expression all around the world as I said that. We all grew up with the concept of a millionaire. We were taught that $1 million were all you need to be financially independent for the rest of your life. This was a widespread belief during the 1960s. If you now believe that you don't need very much but you reside in a less developed section of the world, this statement may still ring true for you. Only people who make more than $1 million annually are aware that this amount is merely a respectable earnings level. Every year, the value of money falls further and further. Permit us to bring this into perspective for you by using the United States as our primary example. It was estimated that there was $1.75 trillion worth of notes in circulation at the beginning of the year 2020. This refers to real bills that can be found in circulation on the market. The value of each dollar you possess has decreased to less than one-half of what it was in the past. When something is more readily available in the market, its value decreases because of increased competition for it. Inflation is the technical term for this process of monetary devaluation. The value of cash you have stashed away in your cabinet steadily decreases as the government continues to issue new money on an annual basis, not just because of inflation, but also because of changes in the purchasing power. $1 million per year in the year 2020 is about similar to $250,000 merely 30 years ago. This may be measured quite well through the real estate market. People living in poverty are harmed by this system. They are oblivious to the fact that keeping their money in cash results in a loss of funds for them. The wealthy use their knowledge of the market to their advantage and invest their money in things that are known as stores of value. To know more about a good source of store values, you can watch our previous video entitled 12 Assets You Should Be In Instead of Cash Right Now, or click the link in the description at the end. Back to the topic. Let's first examine the reasons why $1 million a year isn't all that much money. It's been said that the typical person will spend roughly 40 years in the workforce, 25 years old to 65 years old inclusively. Even if you worked your entire life and made $1 million each year, completely ignored inflation, and didn't spend a dime, you still wouldn't have enough money to buy the painting by Rothko, which sold for $46 million, or this painting by NEWMAN, which sold for $43.8 million. Both of these paintings were sold at auction. Imagine working your whole life for $1 million a year and still not being able to afford a piece of canvas with 2 different colors on it. However, sales of artworks of this type occur every year. Number 9. You earn in proportion to your ability to use tools you have at your disposal. The majority of those who are less fortunate have the impression that wealthy individuals are greedy. Man, if I had that amount of money, I'd purchase 3 Lamborghinis in different colors. Hearing that, the rich look would shake their head in disbelief. Remember to keep this idea in your thoughts as we move forward through this phase. Why would you spend over $1,000 on an iPhone if all you do is scroll through Instagram? If that is the only purpose for which you use the iPhone, then you have just spent $900 more than you need to. YouTube is a tool. You can either learn new skills from it or waste 3 hours of your life watching TikTok compilations. Yet, most people don't see that. During the time of our ancestors, the only thing a person possessed was their own body. As a result, they used their muscles to carry stones and their eyes for food or to avoid lurking predators. There are still people in this world whose only tool is their own body, and they continue to exist. People still move things around by hand in a lot of different parts of the world. Currently, individuals no longer need to rely on their physical strength to get the task done because there are tractors that can carry even greater loads. If you learn how to run the machinery, you will immediately become more useful than the individual who is still carrying things by hand. All you need to do is learn how to do it. Because we are so accustomed to having all of this stuff around us, we sometimes forget that some of these things are tools, and tools are designed to be used so that they can provide value for your existence. Instead, take notice of the things you have in your possession. Chances are good that some of them can be turned into cash. If you know how to make the most of it, the gadget on which you are currently listening to this can help you earn money. Number 10. Keeping money is harder than making money. How many of you are making purchases with money that you do not currently possess? How far behind that line are you to the point where you are calculating the math in your brain and hoping the folks from whom you borrowed will just forget about it? This is the reason why your life has turned out the way it has. Your tendency to spend money is out of your control. The vast majority of people who are financially struggling believe that earning money is difficult, even though almost all of them have made money in the past and will make money in the future. There's no mystery to making money. You can either acquire a job or sell a product or service. These are your only real choices. However, very few people know how to keep and increase their wealth once they have already achieved financial success. Take a look at the things of worth that the average person has accumulated by the time they reach the end of their lives. If you're lucky, by the time you're 80 years old, you'll own a rusty automobile and a house, but not much more. This is considered a good life. This is a significant point of differentiation between two distinct mindsets. When it comes to job security, the cardinal rule is to make yourself difficult to replace. Specialize, and your income will consistently be high. On the other hand, wealthy people's mentalities are quite different. How much is left for you to take home after you pay bills? If you give it some more thought, you should find that more and more connections are made in your head. The ability to bring food to the table, and depending on how excellent you are at your profession, even other essentials can be purchased with a wage, but freedom can only be purchased with profit. Number 11. Business people hire good professionals to make them rich. Let me tell you a secret about the education industry. The amount of money that you pay in tuition is only distributed to the teachers at a rate of 25%. The remainder of the cash is distributed to the chairman of the trust funds that own the most prestigious educational institutions in the country. Although colleges are classified as non-profit organizations, they are free to set whatever remuneration they see fit for their boards of trustees. For example, over $10 million worth of compensation is given to Daniel Cummings on an annual basis for his role as managing director of real estate at Harvard. The top earners at the university take home more than $5 million annually, even though they are not responsible for instructing a single student. Let's put it in a simple illustration. There are three types of students: A, B, and C. Student A ultimately finds employment with students B and C. A students are exceptionally proficient at following directions. In fact, they have been doing exactly what their teacher has instructed them to do. However, if you stop and think about it, teachers aren't nearly as successful as they make it seem like they are to their students. But didn't you know, nearly everywhere in the globe, the average earnings of a mechanic are higher than those of teachers? They may not have told you this, but you put in a lot of effort in your studies because they encourage you to believe that this is the key to success. Students B and C learned how to play the actual game and build the kinds of companies that A students could only dream of working for. Number 12. You need at least 3 income streams to feel safe. Every person should have at least 3 different income streams so that they are not unduly affected by the ups and downs of the market. When most people hear the phrase 3 streams of income, the first thing that comes to their mind is 3 jobs. Why? Because the majority of people are only aware of one source of income, which is the job that they are now holding down. Over many years, we have been gradually and one at a time adding them. Let's take Billionista as an example of a company. We make money from it, and that will be another stream of income for us. Why is it so crucial that we have several revenue streams from which we might generate income? Because if even one of them were to fail, we would still have something else to fall back on, and we would be able to lessen the impact of the failure. If YouTube suddenly disappeared, it would be a devastating blow to our company, but we have enough other resources to get us through. We're secure, and you should be as well. When you figure out how to do this, life becomes a lot more interesting. So start drafting your 3 streams and get on it. Number 13. A wall gets brick by brick, same as wealth. Last but not least, this tip is the most crucial and you should keep this in mind. Building money is similar to building a wall. You must place one brick at a time. If you want to get out of the current situation, you must not only become more knowledgeable about the resources at your disposal, but you must also begin to put what you've learned into practice. Pay close attention to how the majority of the poor deal with money. Observe their choices and thinking. They have no reservations about spending $10, $50, or $100 on meaningless items, but they sneer at the prospect of earning $10, $50, or $100. That's not enough money for them, but when they do have it, they're eager to spend it on unnecessary items or worse, vices. That's why poor individuals have always fantasized about becoming wealthy. Luck would come their way by unforeseeable means, showering them with enormous riches. But this is one of the reasons the rich got so wealthy in the first place. It's because they understand how wealth is created, and you can't afford to take chances with your financial future. This is the main reason why we choose to create this video. People in general are unaware of the fact that it is possible to create a passive income stream with as little as $10 to $50. Yet, this has always been a possibility. The problem is that you are not sufficiently educated. Let us educate you on this subject for a change. Investing in companies that pay dividends is the easiest and most affordable approach to building a passive income stream for one's household. Pause this video and start writing it on a piece of paper. What exactly do you mean by that? You can purchase companies that are paying dividends by using any investment platform such as Revolut, eToro, or Robinhood, among many others. These businesses distribute a portion of their quarterly profits to their many stockholders. Here are 3 dividend-paying companies that are very easy for newbies to access. You begin with a tiny amount and then invest some of that cash in dividend-paying firms that you are familiar with and trust. In this way, not only will your wealth increase, but you will also have something of worth to store. And when these firms produce profits, you will receive payment as well. So Billionistas, which one of the secrets mentioned in the video is your favorite? Let me know in the comments. That's it for this time. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. See you next time.